Every day, millions of homes across the world burn natural gas for cooking, for heating, for comfort. But hidden in our walls and pipes is something dangerous: methane, an invisible gas that's leaking into the air. And these leaks are worse than most people realize. Methane is responsible for about 30% of human-driven climate warming today, and residential appliances like stoves, ovens, water heaters, and boilers are significant contributors. Even when turned off, leaks escape through fittings, valves, and connections. That adds up to billions of kilograms of methane every year. And it's not just the planet that suffers, your health does too. Gas stoves produce nitrogen dioxide and carbon monoxide, pollutants linked to asthma, respiratory illnesses, and even cardiovascular disease.
These chemicals are invisible. They build up inside our homes without us knowing.
Today, I'm walking around Grinnell and asking people what they know about methane, what they use in their homes, and what we can do to address this problem.
My name is Chrisland. I've lived in Grinnell for a little over 4 years. Yeah, we have a water heater, and then everything else in our house is electric. It's very expensive. Our electric bill is like ridiculous. I would prefer a gas stove for sure.
This comment surprised me, and Kristlyn and I spent the next few minutes discussing the drawbacks of methane and natural gas. It seems she was limited in her decisions due to renting the house that she currently lives in.
I haven't done a ton of research just because of we've never owned a house yet.
Are you aware that natural gas appliances like stoves or water heaters can leak methane even when they're turned off?
Yes.
We then discussed in more depth about the drawbacks of methane and natural gas. Does knowing that kind of change your potential thoughts about natural gas usage in your home?
Yes, especially I feel like since I have kids, I feel like that kind of stuff is, I don't know, I think about that kind of stuff more.
Yeah.
The water that we drink and the air that we breathe and all that kind of stuff is really important.
But what would this look like for a business owner? We decided to ask and find out.
Sure, I'm Jordan Scheibel. I work part-time for Grinnell Farm to Table, which is a nonprofit where we're here right now. And then I'm also a business owner, so I run Middleway Farm, which I run on leased land just north of Grinnell. Yeah, so at home we're on the natural gas lines that are in Grinnell, like most people have. If they don't have electric, they have natural gas. Our situation was a little unique in that my wife and I didn't buy the house. Our housemate bought it, and then we moved in with her, so she kind of made the choice. But I think from her perspective, I don't think that's something that she was necessarily evaluating as like is this a natural gas house or not?
Right.
It just was kind of part of the home.
Did you know that natural gas appliances leak methane even when they're turned off?
I've been hearing this more and more, yeah.
Yes.
So it's raised a bit of concern in my mind, but I haven't personally looked into the specifics of it. That's bad. Yeah, that's something that I've understood more recently. It seems like there's been more, I don't know if studies have come out or there's been more press about especially the indoor air quality. So if I feel like the air quality stuff outweighs that, then I would make a different choice. But part of it is ignorance is bliss, and that I haven't looked into the specifics of this, so I'm not evaluating the risks in a very rational way. The farm uses propane for heating, and so that heats the buildings that I use, and then I also have hookups for propane for my greenhouse, for heating the greenhouse. And then they did do a fairly sizable solar installation. It covers a pretty significant portion of the electrical bill. I do have some decisions around consumption. So for my greenhouse, I can decide how much to heat, when to start the greenhouse, which I do, and that's really cost-based because propane is very expensive. Yeah, as far as the greenhouse, I think it mainly comes down to costs on those things. And again, it's partly the scale that I'm at. With a bigger business, if there were incentives in place, and that would probably be switching to a geothermal system in particular. I don't know, I think electric heat could be a possibility, and if you can run that off of solar.
I'm Pete Jacobson. I'm a faculty member in the biology department. Not for cooking, but for hot water and we have a natural gas furnace. Looked at possibilities for doing complete electrification, but because of the age of our old farmhouse and the existing electric service was only a 100 amp circuit, would have been a much larger project than we wanted to do at the time.
Did you know that natural gas appliances leak methane even when they're turned off?
I did not know that with respect to the furnace or the hot water heater. Knew that stoves were prone to do that. The college seriously investigated the possibility of setting up a small commercial wind farm with 3 1.5 megawatt turbines up to the northeast campus. And the goal was to connect them directly to the boiling systems and scale down use of natural gas, but in the end it got too complicated because of easements for bringing power back to campus. The college has brought on the solar field to the north of us on 16th, which I think provides about a third of the consumption roughly. We're increasingly heading in the right direction.
Studies show that gas stoves can increase indoor pollution to levels above the EPA limits within minutes. And these pollutants are linked to asthma and respiratory illnesses, especially in children. Were you aware of that statistic?
Yeah. I wouldn't have a gas stove in our home.
My name is Evan Kuzo. I'm a professor here in the chemistry department and environmental studies concentration. We've lived in Grinnell since January. We've lived in this house since March. We have both electrical appliances and natural gas appliances. When we moved in, we started swapping out a lot of the appliances, getting rid of natural gas appliances like our stove, for electric appliances like an induction range. Yeah, the primary reason is my concern about greenhouse gas emissions, mainly methane, from natural gas infrastructure. A close second would be indoor air quality. I am an air pollution expert, and I know what the combustion byproducts are of a gas range, and I don't want to breathe them in. I think the worst part of it is just the climate damage, that it's leaking a powerful greenhouse gas into the atmosphere, and we're not even getting the benefit of its energy. If you're a homeowner and you can afford the upfront costs of new appliances, the payback period can be pretty short.
As an avid environmentalist, Dr. Evan Kuzo's house features several state-of-the-art appliances that obtain power in ways that are not harmful to the environment or human health. We were very fortunate to be shown some of these on an awesome house tour.
It's drying the clothes by taking heat from the surrounding air and putting that into the dryer drum. This part of the water heater is a heat pump. It's an air conditioner that runs in reverse. And so it's taking heat energy from the air in the basement and dumping it in the water. So this is our new photovoltaic array. We installed it just a couple of weeks ago, and we're waiting for the utility company to connect it to the grid. And once it's connected to the grid, we expect it to start producing 80 to 90% of all of the electricity we're going to use in a given year.
Overall, we observed a wide array of how people choose to power their homes and businesses in Grinnell. Methane leakage from homes is a hidden crisis, one that affects both our climate and our health. But it's also a problem we can solve. Every change, from switching to electric cooking, upgrading appliances, or sealing leaks, makes a difference. And collectively, those changes could significantly reduce emissions and protect our future. So next time you cook dinner, heat your home, or think about appliances, remember, your choice matters. Not just for comfort, but for your health and for the planet.